Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Tensura. So, there's not really too much to recap from the last episode. It was sort of like a reintroduction of all the characters, trying to get everybody settled into the mood, if you will. And at the very end, though, we started getting into some more, I guess you could say, serious stuff. We now have Rimuru, trying to, or I guess supposedly making alliances with the elves and the dwarves, and he's gonna explain his plans on how to take on Clayman and the rest of the demon lords and whatnot. So I expect things will get much more interesting from here in regards to the geopolitics of this current world we are in, right? So, not like I said, not much to recap. Let's just jump right into the episode. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Play. Holy Empire, eh? So I guess this is where the church guys are. Luminous. Light, eh? Bye. No idea what that was, but I mean, I guess it's supposed to be like a potential enemy or something of that. I mean, I would assume the Holy Empire has something to do with the Holy Church, right? Although that's not exactly a given. There might be multiple religions and deities here, right? I gotta say I'm a big fan of their uniforms, though. They look sharp. Hello. Oh. I guess I didn't really pay too much attention to the opening last episode. Huh. So these clowns seem to be much more important than I initially thought. And of course, she's back as well. And here's Rimuru like a boss. Although that ending scene there, that really reminded me of some of those. Plus. No, hold on a sec. This is another isekai, right? He's reading manga. Ah, so it was this guy. Huh. Right, Rimuru did mention that somebody must have betrayed him, right? Or actually, did he say that, or did I deduce that? I kind of forgot. But, anyways. I think they mentioned, right, something about this entire thing. Yeah, so it was probably this Yuki dude that was like, hey, Rimuru's bad news. He's evil. Blah blah blah. Kazari. Motto. Motto demon lord. Huh. I thought Clayman was the one. Cromwell, eh?
Yeah,
I would appreciate that as well.
西方正教会本部には怪しいものは何もなかった。そりゃ参拝者なんかも来るんや。わかりやすくヤバいもんが置いとるわけやない。そんでわいは霊峰の頂上を目指すことにしてる。法しか出る奥の院ならなんかあるかも。
Oh, okay, okay. So, yeah, it is the same.
吸血鬼のおっさんが赤い光線ぶっ放してきて、わいボロボロにされてしもってん。いやいや、なんで君生きてるの？赤い光線を放ってきたと言ったな。しよ。それは血を魔粒子化させて放出するブラッドレイという技。
Blood magic. How many demon lords are there? Jeez. Like, the title barely has any meaning anymore when like every second person we meet is a demon lord or a king or whatnot. Although I guess in this world there is a difference between demon lords and true demon lords. Alright, but what is this Yuki guy wanting to do, though? Is he working for the Empire, or for himself, or for other demon lore? Interesting. Oh. There's a... Archduke. Not really sure about their entirety of like their political situation. I would assume Archduke is not actually the leader of the country. Yeah, I was gonna ask, where is he? Still wearing sandals though. Is he a dog or something? Uh. 'Oh, really? What? What were all those introductions for then? Right, right. They do have an emperor. Huh, full authority, eh? What's the big deal with Veldora? I guess his reputation precedes him. Really? So I guess it just suits Rimuru completely well, right? Wait, you guys. Huh. So I guess even these guys are kind of adverse to the Western Holy Church as well. They don't want to make enemies, basically. So I think the conclusion is gonna be kind of similar to what I say at the end of the last episode, right? Like maybe not a right out alliance, but at the very least. Alright, hold on. Technically, yes. Wait, does this empire need to? Hmm. I feel like they don't really make clear like what is the position of a demon lord within this world, right? Is this like literally a position or a kind of being that most countries would declare hostile on sight, or what? Hmm. See, that's the smart thing to do, right? You don't really want to, spread like mass panic within the Western human countries and cause them to make an alliance, right? You don't really want to make an enemy of the world just yet. Hmm.
ベルドラとの出会いから今までのことを話した。そして君の町がね、邪魔なのよ。だから潰すことにしたの。魔物の言葉に興味はない。万物よ月よ。ディスインテグレーション。
Alright, come on. Let's go, let's go. I don't need to see this again.
我々の情報とも同じですね。
Right, so the obvious conclusion is that she got bad information, right?
それほどのものならなぜ召喚儀式を阻止しようとはしないんだ。子供を異世界から無理やり連れてくるなんてどう考えても許されることじゃないだろうに。彼女が各国の召喚を見逃していたかどうかは本当のところはわからないでしょう。
This guy's... Oh, wait, it was Diablo?
おいおい、ひなたは強敵なんだぞ。お前に始末できるのか？そうですよ、ディアブロ。あなたごときが出向くくらいなら私
Come on, now's not the time, you two. We got more important things. Yeah, I was expecting Mildora to actually be like, I want to take on those of the Western Holy Church. I think we're past that point, actually. Right here, this part. Yeah. So basically, Yuki told her. Yeah, that is the question, right? Why is he doing this? Oh, what now? What's with the overreactions, you guys? Come on, Veldora as well? Oh my god. Anyways, I'll see you guys after this. Alright, so we got a lot of things happening in this episode, right? But at the same time, you could also say that nothing really happened in this episode. We're not really more knowledgeable than we were in the last episode. Although I guess it's now confirmed that the traitor, if you will, the one who leaked the information to Hinata was indeed Yuki, the Grandmaster of the Adventurers Guild, right? Was it the Adventurers Guild? I think it was, right? Which was actually, I think, he was a prime suspect in the, during the last season as well, or the last part where Rimuru was talking with Hinata about the entire situation. I think he was prime suspect number one, but let's talk about that a little bit later, right? Because at this point, there's no use to speculate on what he is trying to do, right? All we know is that certainly, first of all, we know that he's an isekai, right? He's here from the modern world, or at least another world, otherworlder, right? And that's what they called him here. And then also, he is currently working together with a lot of the demon lords and so on and so forth, including Clayman as well, right? But for what purpose? Don't really know, because certainly he's not exactly on the side of the Western Church and all that. He doesn't seem to be on the side of I guess maybe he's on the side of humans, but does that really make sense though? Again, because it's there's far too little information. It's not really a good idea to speculate too much on that part, right? But at the very least, it seems that he's not exactly 100% cordial with the entire demon lord situation either, right? Maybe to him, the demon lords are just another faction to be used, or something of that sort. So there's definitely, we can put that aside for now, right? And then back to the current situation at hand, which to me was what I thought this episode was going to focus on, right? Which is Tempest's position in the world. What exactly are they going to do? What allies do they have? What kind of position are they going to take in this upcoming conflict, right? So at the very least, we know Dwargons and Phalions stance on this part, and I think it's in line with what I mentioned last episode, right? So obviously we know that these two countries are quite friendly with Rimuru, and by extension with Tempest as well, right? Although perhaps they might not exactly just go all out and say, okay, we are forming like a triple alliance or something of that sort, right? Maybe it's more so of a case of we got your back, but it's more under the table kind of thing. Like we will maintain a stance of neutrality, but maybe help Tempest, help Rimuru, right? By more underground kind of dealings, or perhaps I guess to a certain extent, as long as they don't get in Rimuru's way, I think that is enough, right? That's the conclusion I came to last episode as well. Just stay out of it, and try to hold back any of the pressure from the other nations and whatnot. Allow Tempest to deal with Clayman first, with the Demon Lords, get that situation under control, and then potentially also have this other conflict with the Western Holy Church, right? Because certainly it seems that the only thing that's stopping Dorgon and Phalion is the situation with the Western Holy Church. I don't know the extent of their influence within their respective nations as well. I mean, I could assume that they're a huge influence in the human nations, whether or not it extends to other races as well. That's more, I don't think it could, right? Because well, actually, it's hard to say. I mean, we clearly already see the stance from the church on monsters, right? But do elves, like, does monsters mean like non-humans, or do like dwarves and elves have like a special stance or something of that sort? So that part is unknown, but definitely I think one of the things that they all want to avoid is going to war with the entirety of the human nations, right? And this is something that I mentioned also in the last core as well, right? Even though, sure, Rimuru is strong and all that, and certainly his subordinates are strong, and heck, they even got Veldora on their side as well, it's still not exactly the most, it's still not exactly the most smart thing to do to piss off like the entirety of the human nations and evoke hostile responses from them, right? Because there is a saying that there's an ancient saying in Chinese that's even ants will be able to bring down an elephant if there's enough of them, right? So I hope that kind of comes clear, that kind of idiom, which is that no matter how strong you are, you're still going to be ganged up and bunched up. You can't be everywhere at every time, right? So I think it's prudent to actually keep a down low, and I really like what they were already proposing in this episode, right? They are trying to spin the story. I mean, nobody knows the truth, and certainly it's not a good thing to let out to the other human nations, or indeed the world at large, that hey, here's a demon lord that just immediately slaughtered like 20,000 people, right? So yeah, I do think that it's much more prudent and makes much more sense to try and take their own spin on things, and then it's more of a case of you say and he said and they said, and then that would basically cause pause to the other human nations, right? And so they might not necessarily like 100% be like, oh, this is a big deal, this is a big situation, we gotta like launch a holy crusade against them or something of that sort. And the same goes to the church as well, right? So I do like that kind of perspective of going into things, and indeed this is, to me, a lot of times, even though it doesn't really feature that prominently in Tensura, at least up to this point, but when I read and watch isekai themed anime or manga or light novels, this is actually a part that I really like to concentrate on: the geopolitics of the situation, and how this outsider changes things up, and the situation, because there's very rarely a work where the main character is so OP that he can just disregard everything and make enemies out of everyone, right? That's typically not the way things go. Even Rimuru, who is certainly very strong here, I mean, I think it's quite clear that even he has his limitations. Like I mentioned last episode, I'm not exactly sure where his power level is, but certainly I don't quite think that he's at the top of the very top, right? He's certainly elite already, but I think there are plenty of elites here. Like, hey, even the Yuki dude that we saw, You could argue that maybe he's just a mastermind of everything, and he has more smarts than he has brawn. But you know, I'm inclined to believe that in this world, you probably need to have equal parts in order to be able to do the things that you are able to do, right? So your intelligence, right? The plots and the you know, all the backhanded stuff that you're doing, probably it still needs to be backed up by your own power as well. Otherwise, in this kind of fantasy world and in this kind of situation, it's way too easy to be to get in over your head and be offed basically by someone who has more raw strength, raw power than you. So I think that is definitely something to keep in mind as well. But anyways, like I said, there's not really too much that actually happened in this episode, and certainly, you know, at the very end here, we still see yet another situation coming up, and of course it's got to be a cliffhanger. So yeah, let's just at this point I can only wait until the next episode, and let's see if we have a plan of action. What exactly are we going to do in the future, or at least the upcoming episodes, to achieve all the goals that we lay out, right? And certainly what those goals are, you know, even that is not entirely clear here, right? Certainly Rimuru has said that he wants to, first of all, he wants to free the Beast Nation, right? He wants to return the sort of status quo to the original, like, Demon Lord lands and whatnot. And certainly he wants to have a foothold, right? Like sort of a proxy within the human nations, which is Falmouth, which will also help like hold back the Western Holy Church as well. But how exactly are we going to achieve that step by step? Well, hopefully in the next episode we will actually come to some more concrete action plans, right? So yeah, there we go. That's it for now. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.